have knowledge on labeling.
Oh, yes, most definitely.
And I posted something on Facebook today, and there was something on Hillary Clinton.
Right, right.
Just
well, actually, I think
GMO.
I'm sorry. I think the state of Colorado, we're having a labeling that's going to be going on the ballot here for
Good.
GMO
Well,
labeling.
if you're in
They just turned in all the signatures needed, so
Okay.
it will go on the ballot. So, honestly, if labeling is important, man. I mean, personally, I want to know what I'm eating.
Exactly.
I want to know what I'm feeding my family.
Because we have to take control on what we can, because there are always going to be things that are outside of our control. And until we're all cruising around with, filtration oxygen masks,
right?
That's going to be the last thing to try to take care of with the air that we're breathing in. Because our food, we can control our food, with truth in labeling.
Okay.
And the best truth in labeling is grow your own, buy your meat from, that's why I love my friends in western Nebraska, organic beef, virgin soil, never been crop dusted. If I'm going to use products to put on our skin, hey, it's doublelcountrystore.com, doublelcountrystore.com. And those are the only things going on our skin, because it's an absorption organ, and what you do put on your skin matters.
Yes,
it
will
does. Make its way into your body. So we need to protect our health, the health of our children, and we need to protect the health of our unborn child. And we have to, there are things that we've got to do, because I'm going to tell you, the nutrition needs to be delivered in utero. It's too hard to correct you cannot correct a problem with an infant once they're born if it was something that was preventable from a nutrient standpoint in the womb. That's why I actually, sometimes people can think I'm a little too hard about it.
Nope.
But you know what? Come on. You got 10 lunar months. Get yourself under control.
Right. Right.
Really. You're making a baby. You're making a life. A little human being. They deserve to be born the best, the healthiest that they can be. Because I'm going to tell you something. Nothing is more devastating than to know that you have had a child that's not fixable. And I experienced that in 1977.
Right.
And the genetic specialist told me they had a high amount of babies being born at the end of 1976, and then my son born January 22nd, 1977. Very high incident of birth defects and strokes with their brain. And he made the comment that what was over the United States in 1976 was fallout from Hiroshima.
Oh, yeah, I don't doubt that at all.
Now, come on. How many decades before was Hiroshima? And we're talking 1977.
Right.
And it's still in the atmosphere.
And, thankfully now we just have Fukushima, so...
And now we have Fukushima, and we still have all of this, everything that's been spewed out into our atmosphere inside of this big bubble around the Earth that's still in that atmosphere.
Oh, sure.
And so that's probably more than likely why, the birth defect rate has risen. Chemtrails have risen. One thing I will say about going down to Missouri, to Branson, is not only was, the food was pathetic and deplorable and should not have been served. Actually, I should have never been charged for it, or should have called a manager to the table and said, "For real? You really want money for this?" But one thing that that myself and my granddaughters noticed, we did not see one chemtrail. Not one.
I bet that was a nice sight.
while we were down there. Blue, just blue skies, billowy clouds, and the fragrance of cedar trees is wonderful.
I bet.
But we didn't see no chemtrails in the sky, and very different than here in Colorado. You can look up at the sky at any given time, and there's chemtrails, and there's they're releasing chemicals all into the atmosphere. So,
wow.
Yeah, pretty bad. So these are all things that alter. The other thing, I had very serious morning sickness when I was pregnant with my second child, and I was given a prescription of Bendictin is what it was. And, hey, I was busy taking care of a profoundly mentally retarded child, multiple handicaps. I was busy taking care of a total care child. I was not aware that there was any kind of a lawsuit against this pharmaceutical company with Bendictin. Multi-billion-dollar lawsuit.
Ooh.
For all of the other children, all the children that were born from the moms taking this anti-nausea prescription that had children that had massive strokes.
Oh,
yeah.
My goodness.
I missed the boat on that one. It was very difficult financially being homebound with a child with multiple special needs. And I was definitely on the Late Show when I found out about it.
Wow.
It wouldn't have changed anything, but I'll tell you what, it would have made life a whole lot easier. That's for sure. So, okay, I want to go back to some of these things for children, because this is the last segment.
Yes.
And how many minutes do
we have about 37 minutes.
Okay. I want to go through some of this with the children, and then I want to talk with you about your toothpaste.
Okay.
And your dental things, and some of these other things that are some more poisons.
Right.
That, there's a little bit here, a little bit there, and it accumulates, and it's really not a little bit, it's a whole bunch.
Yes, it is.
It's not a little bit. Yeah, it's a whole bunch.
No, I'll be interested on that one, because I got a couple of, I'm sure you'll cover it, because, I'm gonna wait.
Okay, all right. So, okay, like I said, my third child, I did not start food with him until he was 8 months old. He did not have animal protein or grains until he was 2. And he is 6'8". He is in excellent health. He gets sick, it's taken care of with herbs. Never had an immunization shot. Was exposed to whooping cough, didn't get it. Loaded him up with herbs. Okay, so raw apple juice. I really promote that certified organic foods, juicing. My kids and my grandkids loved juicing. My grandchildren and kids were drinking smoothies with homemade kefir from raw goat milk before it was any kind of a trend. My granddaughter, who is 16, my 23-year-old grandson remembers loading up the juicer for his great-grandpa when he had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma type B. That was, he was given 3 months to live, and in 60 days he got a clean bill of health, and that was herbs and juicing. It was not chemo. So my 23-year-old grandson remembers juicing and helping be part of Grandpa's regime on getting well. So the other thing is, organic raw fruits and vegetables, and juice those. Organic apple and an organic carrot, very nourishing. We need to feed our children well. through feeding them organic food and extra nutrients, bee pollen, chlorophyll, those are staples. Those are staples around my house. Slippery elm, loaded with nutrition. Catnip tea, seeds and nuts. I mean, these things, blended up. Nut butters. A peanut butter, peanuts are not nuts. They're legumes. They should be slow cooked, not roasted. Okay, they're not a peanut. They're not a nut. They don't come from a nut tree. They are a legume, and so we improperly prepare them, which makes them acidic. Okay, so nut butters, cashew butter, almond butter, macadamia nut, combination of nuts. Always soak them overnight, and drain the majority of that purified water off of that, and blend them up. And there's your homemade nut butters, loaded with calcium, loaded with essential fatty acids, loaded with protein, lots of nutrition in them. The other thing is some of the things that you can keep on hand for dealing with the baby and toddlers is if you're dealing with colic. Colic responds very well to peppermint and spearmint. It will help to quiet and calm the stomach. Catnip and fennel extract works very well for that. Little ones that are constipated, when this is a newborn, this is really not a problem that you have with nursing babies, but it can be a problem with babies who are formula fed. Slippery elm is something that is very safe, high nutrition, mucilagenic. It adds some bulk. That can be added into the formula. Cradle cap. Cradle cap has a lot to do with candida, with a yeast infection. So almond oil with a few drops of tea tree oil in that almond oil is very, very good for putting on the scalp. Any difficulty in digesting, cow's milk in children, you can add a little bit of papaya in that to help aid the digestion. You can add a drop or two of fennel tea and catnip into that. Diaper rash. I use diaper rash a lot of times can also be a sign. If you've used everything over the counter, including cornstarch, and you can't get rid of that rash, you need to look at the possibility of a yeast infection, a candida overgrowth. And so mom needs to be ingesting the probiotic 11 and getting that bacteria count into good balance in the digestive tract, and that will come through into the milk. The other thing with diaper rash is we have the silver gel, the nano silver gel, and that will kill off a yeast infection. The A&D ointment, aloe vera gel is also very healing. You can do aloe vera gel and open up a hematocritly sealed vitamin E oil caplet and add that in with some aloe vera gel and put that on their bottom. The loose stools, diarrhea, children do very well with slippery elm. That bulks it up, gives them the fiber. Raspberry tea is very, very good for raspberry tea is very good for diarrhea. Dry skin, hey, www.doublelcountrystore.com. When it comes to skin problems, lotions, balms, soap, she's got a